What's up guys, today we're gonna go over another effect in the new Ken Carson video edited by Nitetive. So this is the effect I'm gonna go over. Alright, now let's jump into After Effects. So this is the clip I'm gonna do the effect on. It looks like this. Just a standard video with the painting in the background, which we're gonna do the effect on right here. So to start off with, you want to duplicate your video. Just click your layer and press Ctrl D. And once you've done that, you want to take out the pen tool. And for this effect, I'm gonna mask half the frame out. So half of this painting. So let's just do this right here. And once we've done that, we can turn up the mask feather just a tiny bit, such as 10 for example. And once you've done that, you want to go up to this arrow here that next to libraries and click motion tracking. Make sure your mask is selected and then click on the method for position, scale and rotation. And then after that, you click the play button right here. So as you can see, this footage isn't the best. So what we need to do is to manually adjust the mask frame by frame because sometimes it goes out of the frame, like right here. So we need to fix this real quick. So this is how our mask is looking so far. It's a little bit shaky right here, but it doesn't have to be perfect. But that's because the footage is a little bit shaky. So once you have your mask tracked to an object on the wall, it could be a square or anything, you can go to your effect controls and search up the CC smear effect. So what we're going to do is recreate the example that I showed earlier. We're going to have 3 separate smears that the painting is going to go out from. So let's start with the bottom one, and you can click the From button right at the top here and click at the bottom here, for example. So as you can see, it's going to go way out of here, and that's because we need to change the to position here. Click this one and then put it decent amount out, so like this. And this is way too wide, so we need to turn down the radius a little bit, so like this and like this. So we want the maximum reach to be, let's turn it down just a little bit, like maybe 70. Then you want to make sure to keyframe the smear position so that we can have some movement, so that it's not just static like this. So what we can do is go to the beginning of the clip, you click the reach keyframe, the stopwatch right there. Once you've done that, you can put it to something like, for example, 10 to start the clip off with. And then you go about halfway and put it to where you want it. So in my example, I'm gonna go for 70. And then you want to make sure that it also goes backwards towards the end. So we take down the reach from 70 to, for example, 25. We don't want it to go all the way in for our example. So what you're gonna have is this, it's gonna go out and then go in again like this. And now we need to do the same for the top one. So make sure to drag another smear effect on top and click on the From at the top right here, and then you see the same happens again. That's because we need to make sure that the 2 is going to be just a little bit outwards, so like here for example. And you can see that's way too wide, so let's turn down the radius a little bit. And I also want to put the reach a little bit backwards, and you can take this clip out here to compare with your other smear effect to make sure that they're about the same length. So it seems 81 or 80 is good for our example. I actually want to turn down the radius a little bit more like this. And also I want to turn down the radius on the first one a little bit more because I think it's a little bit too wide. So like this looks pretty cool. So now we can do the same as the other one. We keyframe the reach. So we want to make sure we go to our reach right here. Keyframe at the start, put it to about 10 as we had our other one. Go about halfway and synchronize it to the other one you made. Put it to where you want. So in my example, I'm gonna go with about 75/80. Let's go 75. And then towards the end, take the position backwards again. So put it to about 10 or 20 like this. So now what you're gonna have is this right here. You're gonna see that there's two waves coming out from the painting. and then going inwards again. So now we need to make a third one, which is going to be in the middle here, as you saw in the example. So just do the same thing again, drag another smear, put the from position in the middle right here, and you're going to see the same thing happens. Put the 2. I'm going to have this one a little bit longer than the other ones, so I'm going to put it right here. So I'm going to have this one a little bit more wider by having the radius be pretty high. I'm going to have it to about 70 on the radius. And then you just repeat the process, go to the beginning and keyframe the reach. I'm gonna have the reach at like 15, so it already starts a little bit bulged out right here. Go about halfway, so like this, and with the same as the other clips, and put the reach to about, I'm gonna have mine at 90. I want this one to be a little bit longer than the other ones. And then towards the end, I want it to go a little bit more inwards, but not as much as the other ones, just to create a little bit more contrast between the 3 waves. So what we have right now is this. You can see that it looks very robotic, so we're gonna do a few things to fix this. The first thing we can do is highlight all of the keyframes, click F9 to ease them. And also what we can do is use the effect Turbulent Displace to create a little bit more wavy and trippy effect, as Nitetive did in the example. Make sure that the size is not too high, so let's take the size down to about, let's say 20 is probably good. And we want to keyframe the Turbulent Displace as well. So go to the beginning, click the keyframe right here, and go about halfway and put the size just a little bit so that we have some movement. So I'm gonna have it at about 27. So you can see that right here it's kind of wavy. And then you want to keyframe the Turbulent Displace inwards. You don't have to, but I'm gonna do it. Keyframe it going back to like 20 as it started as, so that you can see that we have a wavy effect right here. So let's see what we have now. And you can see in our clip, you can see that the frame goes too high right here. So let's fix this. So a way we can fix this to make it look more natural and blend it in is to turn up our mask feather a little bit. So let's see what looks good. We want to make sure that our effect doesn't fade away. So let's put it at about 40. 40 looks pretty good. So you can see now it's blended quite well with our painting. Right here. So I would say this looks pretty similar to the original effect. Also, another way to make the effect blend better to the original footage is to turn up the mask expansion. So just turn it up and make sure that it doesn't go too much to anything else. So I'm gonna stop it at about 40. Seems like a good point. So like this. So that looks pretty well blended in. Looks pretty well blended into the original footage. So here is the final result. Thanks for watching, guys. If you want more tutorials, make sure to leave a comment which ones you want to know. Make sure to follow my Instagram and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you next time.